concept is to drive these remotely controlled bodies called avatars. They're grown from human DNA mixed with DNA of the natives.
Marine in an avatar body. That's a whole mix.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little bit of the trailer for Avatar. The #1 movie at the box office, the all-time most expensive film ever, $500 million, made by top director James Cameron. The issue here is that this film is pure propaganda. It is a global government message. The UN has stated on record that they want to set up a global Gaia religion to sell the population of the earth to have less resources instead of developing new resources. And the movie says that the earth is dead and that humans are bad. It has an anti-military message. It has an anti-imperial message that is healthy. The anti-military message isn't overall healthy, but the anti-imperialism, the anti-Iraq war message is healthy. And this, of course, was being produced during the last few years of George Bush's administration. But it is total occultism with shaman ceremonies, with the horned god male and the goddess female, and it is just pure propaganda. And I'm sure James Cameron means well, along with Sigourney Weaver and others. They think a Gaia religion is good, and they think that we're using too many resources. And there is a kernel of truth that there are destructive things going on with the environment. The problem is the global corporations behind the phony environmental movement openly want world population reduction and want to set up a system to destroy the industrial society, which will kill hundreds of millions of people per decade conservatively. And I show you all the numbers and mainline headlines in that 10-minute video we posted yesterday at Infowars.com about the Copenhagen Summit. We show that. And most of your Hollywood movies, what children are taught in public schools, what is pushed everywhere, going green really means giving up your resources to the banks, letting them lower your standard of living, to bankrupt you, to make you dependent on them. Meanwhile, the big environmental front groups are funded by the oil companies and others. They don't warn you about real environmental problems like cross-species genetic engineering and things that can actually cause problems. Or the Hadron Super Collider, which their own scientists admit could create reactions thousands of times more powerful than the biggest hydrogen bomb or hydrogen warhead. Or in the San Francisco Chronicle, the Air Force admitting they're secretly developing antimatter weapons and that they've isolated antimatter. I mean, these are things that could really destroy the planet or really damage our civilization. Nothing is being done about that. They get you hyped up about real environmental issues. They dress it up in kind of a Wounded Knee / Pocahontas story about the evil Westerners coming in and hurting the Native Americans. My daughter, I took her to see the movie. She said, yeah, it was kind of like the story of Pocahontas. And that's what it is. It's kind of like a John Wayne movie / the story of Pocahontas, all mixed in with this indigenous alien species fighting the evil warmongers. And then a dictatorship of good scientists take over the planet and kick out the evil military at the end. And this film, of course, was designed to come out right now to push this whole global religion that Al Gore has openly called for. Again, I think that the people involved in the film, James Cameron and others, they mean well. That's why the globalists are so powerful, is they sell so many people on this idea. They mix in this phony environmental message with an anti-exploitation message, an anti-imperialism message, an anti-militarism message. And so it's very effective programming. Tens of millions of people are now watching this movie per week. Millions of people are now being indoctrinated into the new global religion. And this idea is being sold that you're a hero, you're a wonderful person, if you embrace this and get involved in this. And then you go join the modern environmental movement, and all that happens is your well-meaning actions then get co-opted by the IMF and World Bank that have chosen to set up a global financial and economic dictatorship through the environmental movement. And they've stated this, that Copenhagen and global taxes and green initiatives that have nothing to do with green initiatives, and they candy coat it in electric cars and wind turbines and things that sound reasonable and sound like progress. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do, how do you think a private global corporate system is going to sell the people on relinquishing control of their lives? They're going to do it through a trendy, well-meaning, well-sounding environmental movement. If Avatar wanted to be accurate, it would show a group of humans landing on a planet, or a planetoid, in this case it's a moon, orbiting a gas giant. And it would show the corporations being slick propagandists and going to the indigenous people that are concerned about their environment and in harmony with their Gaia that they worship. And the corporation would land, send in their avatars to infiltrate through forced multiplication, posing as the indigenous population, and they would tell them, you are hurting the environment, indigenous people. You must stop using resources. You must all move to one reservation to save your planet. Only so they could then herd them in, imprison them, and then mine the whole moon.